All right, today we'll be covering the most overrated and underrated fighters at every weight class. And quick clarification I gotta do at the start, just because people are retarded, is overrated does not mean bad. You could be the #1 contender in the world, and if the champion is clearly better than you and people think you're going to beat the champion, that would make you overrated. And by the same account, champions can also become underrated. For example, Jan would be overrated at the #2 bantamweight in the world if people thought he beat Merab, because he wouldn't. He got 50-45. All right, but let's get into it. I know this is going to get some hate, but starting at 155, I have Charles Oliveira being overrated and Arman Tsarukyan being underrated. And the main reason why I'm putting Charles in the overrated is simply the amount of people picking him to be Ilya. I mean, for example, he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights, losing to Arman, losing to Islam, which are the top of the division, and he struggles against the Dagestani style. Like, let's just be for real. I think the biggest reason why he struggles is he starts to shell up a little bit on the feet because he doesn't have some massive grappling advantage like when he's fighting Chandler or Gaethje, and that leads to him getting inactive and a little bit slow on the feet. Along with that, can we just talk about how he shouldn't be getting a title shot? I don't give a shit. Arman should be fighting Ilya for the belt. It's a better fight, and I understand this is a very exciting fight. I love Charles. It would be good if Charles won. I would enjoy it if Charles won. He's not going to win. I mean, he just beat a Michael Chandler who's on a big-ass losing streak, who's washed, who's old, after losing to Arman, the true #1 contender, and then he gets a title shot because Arman pulled out, and I'll cover Arman pulling out because he's the next one. And I'm telling you right now, Ilya is going to put Charles out bad. And listen, I'm a big Volk fan. I watched it firsthand. I tried to do a little bit of coke, like, well, Volk stays perfect for 25 minutes. No. Oliveira is getting finished, and he's getting finished quick. I think it's as simple as he's getting dropped on the feet. And a lot of people are saying Ilya's power isn't going to, like, I don't know, man, it might not translate. I saw Guru saying it might not translate. Okay, if you knock out Max Holloway, the guy who's never even been knocked down before, and don't give me no bullshit, that was Max Holloway at 145. Yeah, that's where he spent his whole fucking career, fought wars with Volk, fought Jose Aldo, fought all these dudes, and literally looked undefeatable, versus Ilya goes in there, knocks out Max Holloway. So I think you're crazy if you're picking Charles, and that's why I had him overrated, even though Charles is great, and I love Charles. I underrated, I have the true #1 contender, Arman Tsarukyan. I mean, for fuck's sake, he beat Charles Oliveira. He should be fighting for a belt. And this guy's only loss in the UFC is to Islam, and I don't give a shit. He beat Mateus Gamrot, meaning he's on a 10-fight win streak. And if you don't think he beat Mateus Gamrot, please go rewatch that fight. As a matter of fact, only 7 out of the 22 media members scored it for Gamrot, with some of the media members giving Tsarukyan 46-49s and 45-50s, meaning he really dominated that fight. There was close rounds, but Tsarukyan should have won. 2/3 of fans thought Tsarukyan should have won. And I just think it's funny how, like, a year ago, everyone was saying, oh, Arman's his biggest threat. People were picking Arman to be Islam, and now people genuinely think a motherfucker like Gaethje should be fighting him for the belt next. What are we talking about right now? Paddy's calling for the Gaethje fight. They're trying to just skip around Arman being the champion. And I know what you're saying, no, John, he didn't get the title shot because he pulled out. Yeah, fighters do that shit all the time. Charles never got this much hate when he got cut in sparring. And that actually led to my goat, Volk, getting fucking butchered, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, people saying he got hurt trying to impress Nina Drama doing that bullshit. You are a retard, man. When you are doing a hard weight cut, your muscles, your tendons, nothing has water. You are genuinely 10 times more likely to get injured. He's probably doing hard wrestling rounds because he's fighting fucking Islam, and he hurt it doing that. So are you getting shown good striking? He's shown great wrestling. I think he would be a great fight for Ilya, since we can't get the fucking Islam fight because the UFC is retarded. And I feel like it's one of those things where everyone in their hearts knows Arman should really be fighting for the belt, but they like Oliveira better, they like Gaethje better, some fuckers even like Paddy Pimblett better. By the way, like, if Arman fought Paddy, he would run through him. He would put belt to ass. And I don't even understand why people don't like Arman. He has an exciting style. Besides Oliveira, he was finishing people. He got that great finish over Dariush, finished Joaquim Silva, and that Charles fight, he made it an exciting fight. It was a great fight. It was a great fight to watch. And just so people don't get on dick, I was rooting for Charles in that fight. I like Charles better. Tsarukyan is underrated compared to Oliveira, who has struggled against the elite of the elite recently. All right, once again, I know you guys just wait. At light heavyweight, I got Dominic Reyes being overrated and Jan Blachowicz being underrated. And before you dislike the video, I'm the biggest Reyes fan you know. He beat John Jones, and I hope he fucking can fight for the title someday, but people are blinded by the fact that they like him. This dude can't fight for a title, and he can't make the top 5. The thing is, since coming back on his win streak, the level of competition that he's fought is just not up to par with the top of the division. He got a good win over Dustin Jacoby, who I think is a little bit overrated. But then you beat Anthony Smith, and then you beat Nikita Krylov, which is a good win. But please do not fucking compare it to like actual top of the division, man. From here on, the light heavyweight division steps up. He's ranked number 8 right now. Do you think he could beat Magomed? Fuck no. Alex? Fuck no. Yuri? Fuck no. We saw how that went. He got brutally elbowed. And once you get outside of that, I don't think he beats a Carl Zolberg. He gets speed blitz. I don't think he beats a Jamal Hill, even though Jamal Hill's hated and he just got knocked out against Yuri. I don't think he beats a Jan. I don't think he beats a Rakic. Maybe he could beat Roundtree. But from here is when the real test will start. And I don't think he can. I think his game's too limited. He's got good stand-up, but I think he just gets outclassed by the top of the division. And I know what you might be saying, oh, John, no one rates Reyes this highly. I think a lot of fans do, man. Maybe if you know ball, you're not rating him super highly, even though you love him. But people see that he beat John Jones, and they're like, well, shit, man, if this dude beat John Jones, like, who fucking knows? I'll just call it how it is. On that night, Dominic Reyes was the best man in the world. Outside of that night, I don't think it ever happens again. You might say that like, oh, he got robbed and that led to his downfall. No. Reyes was motivated. Reyes felt good. Reyes put that behind him. He was like, you know, I thought I won, but I'm not going to let that get to me. I'm going to work my way back up. Then he got brutally knocked out by Jan. Okay, Jan's good though. And that was Prime Jan. Prime Jan was different, bro. People don't even get it. Then he got knocked out by Yuri. But Yuri's good too. But then you get knocked out by Ryan Spann. He takes the 2 years off, recovers his chin, recovers his mental, all that shit. And he's on a good streak. But the streak is not against elite competition. Versus Jan being underrated, I think it's the opposite. Jan has just gone against insane levels of competition. Like back 2020, 2019, when he was knocking out Raw Cole, knocking out Corey Anderson, I think. Then he knocks out Dominic Reyes for the belt. Izzy tries to go up. He outclasses Izzy. Lost to Glover. But here's the thing. Despite only having 1 win in his last 4 fights, he is underrated. And that's because he beat Rakic, but then he drew with Magomed. I think it's clear now to see Magomed is just leagues ahead of everyone in the division. And you might say, Pereira, oh, he had a night off. Yeah, you can't hold that against Magomed. He went out there and he outstruck him. He was faster than him. He hit him with jabs, teeps, and he made Alex Pereira look like he didn't even want to be there. He had a very close fight with him. He drew the fight. I think he lost the fight. But then in his comeback, he gets fucking Alex Pereira, an absolute monster. And don't let Magomed beating Alex Pereira think that he isn't a monster. As a matter of fact, at light heavyweight, besides Jan and Magomed, Alex Pereira hasn't even looked human. He's finished everyone or dominated everyone. And in that fight with Alex Pereira, it was a split decision. It was a close-ass fight. I thought Pereira won it live. People scored it for Jan. Media members scored it for Jan. Judges scored it for Jan. It was a close-ass fight. And then he fights Carlos Olberg, who's ranked number 3 in the world. And he beat him. I don't care. He fucking beat Olberg, man. He won rounds 1 and 3. I don't give a shit. Media members scored it for Blachowicz. Most of them scored it for Olberg. I'll acknowledge that. But most fans scored it for Blachowicz. That's probably because he's a fan favorite. I don't care. Watching that fight, I saw Jan beat him. And more important than that, once he takes a step down in competition, I think Jan beats Jamal Hill. I think he beats Rakic. He beats Khalil Roundtree. He smokes Dominic Reyes. Everyone outside of that top 5, he is running through. The reality to me is Jan is 1 Yuri fight away from a title. He's still that elite, but people think of him as old. He is old, but the thing is, he has a style that doesn't get affected by age. Like, you don't need to be fast. You don't need to be super fast, super athletic. When you're sitting there trading low kicks, trading jabs, standing your base, Jan still got that Polish power people forget. And I'm honestly predicting a Jan comeback. Because I think they're going to fucking try and feed him to some bullshit person like Mirzakhanov or even Jingming Yang or some shit like that. And Jan will show a different level. All right, for heavyweight, I got overrated being John Jones and underrated being Jailton Almeida. And no, this isn't just a John Jones hate channel. And here's the thing. A lot of people think John Jones beat Tom Aspinall. I think that's completely asinine. Jones has not fought an elite level of competition at heavyweight. And I know Cyril Gane is an elite. Yes, he's elite. If you notice something, Cyril Gane is elite. However, he has a massive hole in his game that plays right into fucking John. It was genuinely the easiest matchup he could have gotten in the top 5, I think. Gane has no grappling, so he went out there and got ragdolled. And as a matter of fact, he just lost to fucking Volkov, so is Gane really that good? Is he that elite? I don't know. Tom Aspinall, if he fought Gane, first of all, he could just knock Gane out. I know what you're saying, oh, but Gane's fast, he's got the footwork. I think Tom Aspinall's a way better fucking boxer, and I think he has just that different level of power. But to get back to the point, I think Magomed gives this dude a tough fight. And I know what you might be saying. Oh, Magomed is so much faster, has a good enough grappling to negate Jon Jones. And I think he would outstrike him on the feet and he could win a decision against Jon Jones. And that's the thing. I'm not even saying that because Tom Aspinall beats Jon Jones, he's overrated. It's because people, even like people who acknowledge that Tom Aspinall would beat Jon Jones, were like, Tom Aspinall is the only human who could even give him a tough fight. I know this is going to get hate. I think Curtis Blaydes is a good fight. What? Curtis Blaydes is a good fight? Jon Jones doesn't have the power to knock out Curtis Blaydes like Derek Lewis or Pavlovich has. And then I think Blaydes has a good enough wrestling game to keep it on the feet. Well, I think you could mix it up and do good. Would I pick Jon Jones? Yes. People are acting like this dude is still invincible. This dude is already looking old as fuck for 37. It's probably the gear, the coke, jail time aging him, all that shit. But he's just getting older and he's just getting more out of shape. He's not going to fucking fight again. I'll just say that right now. I've been saying this for over a year. And if, for example, Ngannou came back into the UFC, are you really picking Jon Jones over Ngannou? Like talk to yourself honestly. Are you really picking him? I wouldn't. That's why I think Jon Jones is overrated. Versus underrated, I've Jailton Almeida. I mean, in that Curtis Blaydes fight, he was winning that fight, and that's his only loss in the UFC. And it was because he was just acting retarded. No fight IQ. He stayed on the single leg when he was eating bombs. He just stayed there, and then he got knocked out. But that makes people forget this dude is a killer. And I know a lot of you maybe only watched the Derek Lewis fights. You're like, oh, he's boring and all that shit. This dude has a 95% finish rate, and he goes for finishes. The Derek Lewis fight was just, it was just weird. I don't even know what to say. And part of that's because Derek Lewis is so shit. It's like, if a dude can literally just get taken down and laid on, maybe you're just going to do that because it's easier. Maybe you're just going to take the easier way out. Because since then, he fought Alexander Romanov, subbed him in the first round, and then he fought Sergey Spivak and dominated and TKO'd him in the first round. I think this dude has the best grappling in the heavyweight division, and he's one fight away from a title shot. Is he going to get booked against Sirigan? No. The UFC doesn't want to lose their French superstar who's exciting on the feet by getting ragdolled, because I'm telling you right now, if Gane and Jailton Almeida fought, he would either sub him or dominate him, just genuinely wrestle fuck him for 5 rounds. Those are the only 2 outcomes. I don't give a shit. And there was a ton of criticism about him being a light heavyweight, basically like, oh, this dude isn't a real heavyweight. There's 2 things to that. First of all, he's athletic. He's got that speed because he's lighter. Second of all, he still has time to build into the division. This guy isn't that old. He's 33. And I know Jon Jones has you thinking 37's fucking old, even though Jon Jones and Alex Pereira are at the same age, and Alex Pereira was fighting 5 times a fucking year defending his goddamn belt. But guys like Stipe were champs into their later years. Heavyweight is a division you can be old in. And as a matter of fact, sorry to keep harping on it. Actually, no, not sorry. Fuck Jon Jones. Fuck, I'm so sick of him, and I was an OG hater. I've hated him for so long now, and this is all coming to fruition. I like how Jon Jones is like, oh, I'm 37, I'm an old man. Yeah, DC was 38 when he fought him on gear, and then Stipe, I don't even fucking know how old that fucker is when he fought him. I just think it's funny there's a double standard where Jon Jones can fight all the old heads, but then when Jon Jones gets to an age where he's younger than these dudes still, it's like, oh, I'm an old man now, you know, you can't expect me to fight. Fuck him. I like Jailton Almeida. He's very overhated by the fans, and he's an exciting fighter. Bantamweight, I got overrated being Cheeto Vera and underrated being Umar Nurmagomedov. And I know what you might be saying. Who's ranked Cheeto high? UFC. He's ranked number 7th in the world. I mean, this guy's dog shit. I had him in my last overrated video, too, because that was either before or right after the O'Malley fight, and I told everyone, hey, this guy has no skill. He relies solely on his chin, and then he has to land a big bomb to finish him. He's a likable dude, and it's low-key, he's always in fun fights because it's a war where he's getting his ass kicked most of the time, just getting bombs landed on him. But I told people, O'Malley was just going to fucking destroy him for 25 minutes. That's what he did. Since that fight, he got outclassed by Figgy and literally didn't drop in the rankings whatsoever from it. I think you should feed him to a contender like Montel Jackson or something and actually have him defend being top 10 in the world. I mean, goddamn, this dude. And that's the biggest thing. He just sucks and he can't make improvements in his fight because his whole fight style is relying on his chin. From fight to fight, he doesn't get better. He just relies on his chin. I'm not going to spend too much time on Cheeto. I couldn't really find anyone that overrated in the bantamweight. Bantamweight's good. I think most people are rated fairly. Underrated, Umar Nurmagomedov. And I know I got a lot of fucking people who are hated in the underrated. People are loved in the overrated. That's normally how it is. But here's the thing. He is the most talented bantamweight I've ever seen, even more than Jan. He has good striking. Never forget, he outstruck and dominated the fucking dark horse of the division. That's what every idiot says about Corey Sandhagen. Oh, you never know, man. Sandhagen, like, he could sneaky fight for the belt. Shut up. He got dominated by Umar. Dominated. And then he has insane grappling. Here's the thing. Against Merab, he won the first 2 rounds. Keep in mind, I thought he lost that fight. I think you're delusional if you gave this fight to Umar, despite it being a very close fight. But listen, that was just because of the cardio. And I swear to God, I mean this. He destroys every other bantamweight not named Merab Dvalishvili. He is more skilled than Merab, for example. And it's not a knock on Merab. Merab, the bantamweight GOAT, he relies on the cardio, and that's like a fucking insane tool. So I'm not knocking him for using it, but I just want to let people know, like, outside of Merab, he is destroying everyone. And I like how people say that Merab fight was undeserved. The Sandhagen fight was undeserved. Once you out there and you destroy Corey Sandhagen like that, why wouldn't you get a fucking title shot? And what I want to see next is Piotr Yan versus Umar. I think that's a great fight. Jan's got good wrestling, amazing striking. I think Umar's wrestling would give him the edge. And he is just so skilled. He's great in the scrambles all around. Merab just made him look human. And that's the thing. Merab's just different. But for all you saying, oh, but like Merab beat him, so I don't know. Yeah, never forget Merab 50-45 Yan, who everyone just thinks is unstoppable. I think another fun fight would be him and O'Malley. He should have fought O'Malley for the belt, or O'Malley should have fought Piotr Yan. O'Malley shouldn't be getting an immediate rematch because I think just the exact same fight's going to play out. O'Malley needs an early knockout or he's going to get ragdolled. But for the past like half a decade, I want people to understand, Umar is the only dude who made Merab look human. He ran through O'Malley. He ran through Cejudo. He ran through Yan. He ran through Jose Aldo. Even though that was boring and Aldo defended all the takedowns, it didn't matter because Merab's such a freak. He could shoot 3,000, miss them all, and still have the cardio to hold him against the fence and do all that bullshit. He is the only dude who gave Merab a tough fight. But Umar will be a champion, and he will be a dominant one at that, in my opinion. The unfortunate thing is Merab, despite looking so old, he's only 34, and with that gas tank, he's just got freak superhuman genetics or some shit. He could be champ until he's 40. But I think he'll make improvements, and I think, give him a couple years, I think he could beat Merab. And I think he's the only dude who even has a chance at that. So I think he's underrated. All right, at 170, I got Shavkat being overrated and Gilbert Burns being underrated. And with Shavkat, it's a little bit tricky. Like, you got 2 trains of people. You have him see that he's undefeated. And before that Gary fight, he was very overrated. And then I think it almost went on a curve where people were like, oh, you had a close fight with Ian Gary? Oh my God, fucking you suck. No, Shavkat is really good. This is not just me hating on Shavkat. But in that same time, against Gary, he struggled in moments. He got his back taken for a whole round. And then Gary, while he did beat Carlos Prates, he literally was crawling on all fours against Carlos Prates. So Shavkat fighting for the belt next after Islam, I think he's going to get ran through by JDM. I mean, if you look at this guy's competition, sure, he subbed all these dudes, but he subbed Steven Thompson, Wonderboy. And I get he was the first to do that. Then he fought Geoff Neal. Then he fought Neil Magny. These are all good dudes. These are not the best of the best. And Welterweight's in a little tricky spot where I don't know if Ian Gary's one of the best of the best. He's good, but Shavkat's going to be fighting for a belt when I don't think he beats Sean Brady. I don't think he beats Bilal. I don't think he beats JDM. I don't think he beats Buckley. On the feet, he gets hit a lot. He has a pressure-heavy style, but against a guy like Sean Brady, that would get completely neutralized. I think Sean Brady would out-grapple him. He's got good knees and stuff like that, but against a guy like Ian Gary, he got his back taken. What is Sean Brady going to do to this guy? What is Bilal just putting a crazy pace going to do to this guy? JDM, I think, knocks him out on the feet. And then along with that, this dude is injury prone as shit, and that's not his fault, but it still affects him. I mean, he had to take a year off after the Wonderboy fight, even though he won it in the second round, no damage, because he needed surgery. Now after this Gary fight, he needs another surgery, bro. I just wonder if this dude can even stay healthy enough to have a good fucking title fight, bro. And then if Islam wins the belt, he's just fucked. I mean, this is why I'm calling him overrated. He's going to be fighting for a belt when I think he gets outclassed by the people who are going to be holding the belt. And I'm a Shavkat fan. I think he's funny, he's chill, he's a good guy, but I think he's overrated. And I got Gilbert Burns underrated because, want to know something? Gilbert Burns isn't washed, as hard as that is to believe. He went on that run where he was running through guys like Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley. Then he lost to Usman. In that Usman fight, he had some success. You know, he won the first round against Usman, then obviously got knocked out. But here's the thing. He beats Wonderboy. Then he has to fight Hamza and gave him an insane fight where he almost won that fight. And we know now in hindsight that Hamza is different, bro. This dude just ran through Robert Whittaker in fucking 10 seconds, snapped his face in half. And that's the thing. He beats the Neil Magny's. He beats the Jorge Masvidal's. But then he has to fight Bilal Muhammad, who was champ and he's good. And he had a fucked up shoulder. He couldn't even fucking throw punches. So he loses that, right? His next fight's against JDM, where he was winning the fight until he got knocked down. It's like, oh yeah, I know he was winning the fight until he got knocked out. He needed to survive for 2 more minutes and he would have won. and that's the fucking champion. Then he fights Sean Brady, the number 2 contender. This dude is getting fucked with his matchmaking. I know he got knocked out by Michael Morales. I thought Michael Morales was good and underrated himself. He has insane power. It's not that Gilbert's chin is just completely eroded. Is he as good as he once was? No, he's not fucking washed. He's barely ranked inside of the top 10. Colby Covington's ranked ahead of this guy. Do you really think that Colby Covington would beat Gilbert Burns? I mean, get the fuck out of here. People are talking about this dude like he's a goddamn ghost, like he's fucking dead, bro. Gilbert Burns, in my opinion, will be a top 5 through 10 staple for years to come. Like, guys, like he beats the lower level of ranked welterweights, where people think of this dude, people are telling him to retire. Fuck no, dude. He's just fought the best of the, and that's the thing. And that's the thing, because Gilbert Burns doesn't duck and choose his fights like a pussy. He ends up fighting just insane level of competition. That dude beat him because they're fucking insane. What can I say? All right, for featherweight, I got Yair Rodriguez being overrated and Aljamain Sterling being underrated. Yair, where do I even start? I should probably start with this. Hey, do you know how to shoot a takedown? Oh, you do? Okay, you beat Yair. He has just such a weak wrestling game. He is so easy to get taken down. He has the takedown defense of a fucking wet rag, man. Is he fought on the feet? Yes. Does he have that cool ass Taekwondo style? Yes. He has just a massive hole in his game. Like, it's unavoidable. And the fact that this dude's gonna be fighting for Volk is bullshit, man. I do not understand how this guy gets the title shot over Masvidal. I mean, Masvidal is the clear number 1 contender. But anyway, let's just get to this. So in his recent fights, so Volk put belt ass on him, but that's Volk, right? Ortega subbed him after this dude literally concussed Ortega 5 times in the first like a minute of the fight. Ortega somehow survives and subs him. Horrific performance. And then he fights Patricio Pitbull, who is good, but at the same time, it's like, it's your first UFC fight. He's an old fucking PFL dude. Goes to a decision with him. It wasn't some fucking insane fight. Like, holy shit. Maybe you've got like a fucking roundhouse kick, head kick KO, like some super vile crazy he should be fighting. Listen, he's going to be fighting Volk for the belt. He's going to get dismantled by Volk, and then the cycle will continue. I'll just say this right now. Does anyone think Yair beats Volk, Holloway, Lopez, Evloev even? I think Arnold Allen gives this dude a tough fight. Brian Ortega already beat him. I know Aljo beats this guy. I think Leron Murphy could beat this guy. I mean, like, goddamn, there are so many dudes in featherweight who beat him, and he just gets blessed by the UFC by trying to give him easy matchups so he can be this, like, the new Mexican Brandon Moreno or whatever the fuck. There's no reason he should be fighting for a belt. There is a massive hole in his game that he has not improved on yet, and until he improves on that, he's just gonna get exploited by anyone who can grapple again and again and again. In Volk, after taking 2 knockouts, I think he will be even more. Actually, that's a fucking lie. Volk, he's got that confidence to him. He's still going to strike with him, but he will still mix in the wrestling, dominate him. And the best part about this is a guy like Volk still outstrikes him. Holloway still outstrikes him. I think Lopez still outstrikes him because he can actually just stand in the pocket. And so it's like, even though he has this massive hole in his game with the grappling, it's not like he's just guaranteed to win in the striking. I mean, come on now. Yair, just fuck Yair. Underrated, my go, Aljo. I don't give a shit. He was in the last underrated... Holy shit. He was in the last underrated video. I'm sick, so that's why I sound like a prepubescent boy. Wink, wink. My go, Aljo. He's still underrated, and I had him underrated in my last video, and I still think he's fucking underrated because this dude, he's just fought like he's just had some hard fights. I won't even lie. And the thing is, people don't even like clock how hard fights they are. He was so dominant in Bantamweight. He had the weird fight with Jan, but then he convincingly beat Jan in the rematch, finished Dillashaw, beat Cejudo decisively. Then he got caught by Sean. Let's not forget that he outstruck Sean in that first round. Now, I get that. Would they score round 2? Yeah, knockout. I get that. He got knocked out. That's fair. But then he goes up and outclasses a guy like Calvin Kattar, who is good. And then he has a loss to Masvidal. And that's the thing. They're like, oh, you lost to Masvidal. Masvidal is the only dude in this division who can compete with his grappling. And while Masvidal is only ranked number 4, he should be ranked number 1. And that's the thing. If you lost to Masvidal and Masvidal had that big ass 1 on his name, people wouldn't underrate it because they'd be like, oh, he's losing to the best. But a lot of people don't even really know Masvidal, so they see them losing to him. And even though that was a super close fight, crazy exchanges, that was a great fight, they see him lose to a guy like Masvidal and they forget how good he is. And I get it. He was a huge bantamweight, but he can still build into that featherweight even more. He can get even bigger, and I understand he's a huge dude. But let's not forget, this dude never was missing weight at 135. He was able to make 135 despite being huge. He just didn't like it. But at the same time, if you're racking up the L's, you might bulk up a little bit, build into this division even more. And that's the thing. Aljamain Sterling is just low-key getting shitty matchup. The thing is, he could fight a guy like Yair. Why don't we do number 1 contender fight, Yair versus Sterling? Let's see how that goes. Let me take for a second. Oh yeah, Sterling runs through him. This guy's ranked number 9 in the world. This is bullshit. There are not fucking 8 featherweights better than this guy. The UFC just fucking hates him. They want to fucking fuck him all the time. But I'm telling you, Aljo is underrated. He just needs one good matchup and then build into it. And then before you know it, he could be fighting for a belt. Like, we really got Brian Ortega over this dude in the big year 2025. That just breaks my heart as an MMA fan. It breaks it in half. It was my day off, but I just got called into work, so I'm going to resume, but I'll probably be a little bit less energy. But regardless of flyweight, I got Manel Cap being overrated, and I know you guys are going to hate this. Muhammad Mokaev being underrated. Cap is good, and he's an excited fighter, but he just can't beat the elite. He'll never beat a guy like Pantoja. And in the UFC, he hasn't beat that elite level of guy. He hasn't beaten a guy like Royval or Moreno, Kai Kara France. They got to book that fight. The UFC's fumbling, not making that fight. That's a great fight. Even a Tyra, he hasn't fought a guy like that. When he was in Ryzen, he's 1-1 with Kaya Sakura. And then in the UFC, against this fight with Pantoja, he just got dominated. Along with that, he's missed weight a couple times. He missed weight by like 4 pounds when he was fighting, I think, Bruno Silva. But the biggest problem with Cap is he doesn't have good enough grappling, in my opinion, to ever beat a guy like Pantoja. And then he has knockout power, but Pantoja's just got an iron chin. And the only reason why I'm saying he's overrated is I see people saying, oh, he's got to fight for the belt. Why would this guy fight for the belt? He just run through him. I think even Kai Kara France would give Pantoja a lot tougher fight. Maybe even a Steve Erceg rematch. I think they should book Steve Erceg versus Manel Cap. I think that's a good fight. And even then, he has no chance, in my opinion, at the title. Not that really any of the guys at flyweight do, but even then, I think he has a hard path getting to the title. And I got Muhammad Mokaev being underrated, regardless of how you want to slice it. This guy's undefeated in the UFC. He shouldn't have got cut. I understand he's a pain in the ass. I understand he's boring, but at the same time, Dana White could market this as a villain. Think about this. You could rematch him with Manel Cap. That'd be a wonderful fight. Even if he sucks, even if he's boring, which he doesn't suck. I mean, he still wins his fight. He actually beat Cap. I thought Cap won the fight. It was a close fight. I think most people thought Cap won. But regardless of that fact, the fact that an undefeated UFC fighter who is fighting good guys, elite guys in the rankings, isn't in the UFC is just fucking ridiculous. I mean, I hope he can make his way back. He hasn't made his debut in another org. I think he'll probably rack up a few wins, maybe like in the PFL or something like that, and then he's going to regroup, get back in the UFC. Do I think he can become champion? Fuck no. He can barely win his fights. He has no exciting, or he can get some subs, but even then, when he is going to a decision, you know it'll be a boring fight. Regardless of that, he should be in the UFC. The fact that this dude is in the UFC is just genuinely ridiculous. Meanwhile, we got a guy like John Jones who just doesn't fight, refuses to fight, and he can still be the champion. All right. And we got a guy like fucking Tai Tuivasa on the roster, probably on a 6-fight loss streak, and is just ass, but it is what it is. Along with that, you know, he has, I'm not going to say he has a good personality, but he was actually taking cut from being in the UFC pretty good. He was saying he was going to work at McDonald's and shit. I think if you market him as a villain, because he's going to be in the rankings forever if he gets back in the UFC, he's good enough to be there. You got to market him as a villain, just make everyone hate him at every fight, and then boom, he sells. And 10 things off of middleweight, I got Robert Whitaker being overrated and Marco Tulio being underrated. I know you might be like, who is this guy? But trust me, I know ball with middleweights. Over a year ago, I said Kyle Barallo, he was going to be really good. I said the fighting nerds were going to be really good. You know, shout out me. But as for Robert Whitaker, he's 3-3 in his last 6 fights. He can beat all the guys below him, you know what I mean? He can beat bottom of the barrel guys. And by bottom of the barrel, I mean like good contenders who are ranked. I'm not saying this dude's fighting unranked shitters, but at the same time, against the elite, he's just not going to win. I mean, you look at this guy's path to the title, he's either got to beat Dricus, Mavov, Chimaev, Baralho, Strickland. I don't think he wins any of those fights. And then out of the 3 of those 3, let's look at who he's beat. He beat Vittori. That's not an impressive win at all. He beat Costa. Not an impressive win at all. He beat Ikram, and I know some people were overhyping Ikram, but Ikram was unproven, came in on short notice, didn't beat him, versus against Chimaev. He got ran through and submitted, and it's like, yeah, is Chimaev good? Does Chimaev do that to Dricus? I don't know. We'll have to see. Then, obviously, he got knocked out by Dricus. He lost to Izzy. You can argue he won that, but even then, that was 3 years ago, man. Along with that, Robert Whitaker's pretty chinny. He can get caught, and I don't see Robert Whitaker making, like, massive improvements in this game to fight for a belt. And with that being said, they talk about this guy like he's just like, oh, automatic, like, oh, the Reaper, bro. You know what I mean? He can be fine for a belt with any time. And I'm like, not really, man. Why is this guy in the top 5? Why is he ranked above Kyle Baralho? Why is he ranked above even Jared Cannonier? I think they should give him a real test after this. in terms of fighting down the rankings, just making him do that, because it's like against these big guys, he just can't seem to win. And I like Robert. He's a nice dude. He's cool. It was cool when he was a champ. But at the same time, like, how confident are you guys that he would beat Fluffy, Aaron Hernandez, Anthony Hernandez? Are we confident he could beat old man Cannonier? I don't know. And so, yeah, I think this is a great time to remind people. I don't think he's bad. You know what I mean? He's in the top 5. He'll beat the lower level guys. He'll obviously beat the Costas, the Vittoris, the Delidzis, all those type of guys. But is he beating the top level guys? No, but people talk about him like he is one of those top level guys when he's been getting ran through them recently. So no, this does not mean I think Robert Whittaker isn't good, but he's just not where people claim he is. As far as Marco Tulio, I mean, not too much to say. He was on the Dana White Contender Series. He went to decision, didn't get his contract, went back to whatever org he was in, KO'd a dude, got back on Dana White Contender Series. He knocked out, forget the dude's name, I'm not even going to fucking pretend I do. But then he got a good knockout over Ihor Petrina, pretty sure that dude's name. But then he beat Tresean Gore, who's actually pretty high level, I'm not going to lie, for being, you know, outside of the rankings. Knocked him out, looked great. He's got a good spinning back kick. He's just really exciting on the feet. He looks crispy. Hasn't been tested too much in the wrestling, but he's well-rounded enough. Like, he's not going to get grapple fucked or anything like that. And I just got a feeling about this dude. I just think he'll be good. I think he'll develop good. I can't really explain why. I'm not going to sit there and act like the dude with 2 real UFC fights. I know exactly his fucking game style, all that bullshit. But I just got a good feeling about him. What can I say? And that's going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like, please like the video. If you disliked it, you know, feel free to dislike. And if you comment that I am a retard, that is more than fine. Just explain why. I'm so tired of people commenting, this guy's retarded. No way. Hey, that's fine. Just literally say, okay, I don't think Robert Whittaker is overrated for X, Y, and Z. You won't, though, because you're the retard. But regardless, sorry about that. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment video ideas. I'm going to be trying to get back into a more frequent upload schedule for sure. But until next time, Sean does MMA.